Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here, profiling on my brother Slim's channel, so thank you very much for the upload, I appreciate it. Here to show you my rock and shock list, as I call it, or more specifically it's just anti-meta stun, but it's a pretty fun variation of the deck that you don't see a lot of people playing, and I think it'll be a pretty good contender for this upcoming format, really regardless of what the top decks are. So this is one of those lists that I just love playing because you can just find ways to use it in every format. So that being said, we're going to get right into it. So first, you got 3 Inspect Border. It's just a good card. I mean, it's really a good standalone monster that can win games by itself, and it's not even the main focal point of the deck. You got 3 Dyna. Dyna's another good card that you just kind of tend to play in a lot of these types of strategies. And I mean, even against Flunder, like where this card's really not as effective, you side it out in games 2 and 3, and I mean, it's just, you have plenty of answers for those kinds of decks anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We got 2 Barrier Statue with a Drought. There's a reason you play this one specifically, I'll get back to this card, but I find that with Barrier Statues really of any type, unless they play, let's say, an all-earth main deck and an all-earth extra deck, this card will usually put in some work in game 1, regardless of the matchup, really. And then oftentimes, the opponent's extra deck is going to be different attributes, so this card really puts in work in game 1. And then the card that makes the entire deck work. You got 3 Amato Awato. So a lot of people don't even know what this does. So it's a spirit monster that says it can't be special summoned and monsters cannot activate their effects except spirit monsters. So this card is even better than Inspect Border, but the thing is that it goes back to hand during the end phase. So you play other cards to keep this on field. And if you don't know this about spirits, spirits only return to hand during the end phase of the turn that they're summoned. So once Amato Awato stays on the field for a turn, he's yours forever. That's it for monsters. Onto the spells, and here's where things get dicey if they weren't already. You got 3 Mystic Mine. So the thing is, you play this card because it has actual synergy in the deck. You don't just play burn cards, you play 0 burn cards. It's not that type of deck. But I love this card because it works really well with Amato Awato. So again, once you keep Amato Awato on the field for a turn, he's yours forever. So you go opening turn, summon Amato Awato, play Mystic Mine, and then he stays on the board. So even if they just summon a monster and pass and destroy Mystic Mine, that's what we want them to do anyway. So it's really just a win-win when you get those 2 cards on the field together. So then you got 3 Ties of the Brethren. Like, what in the hell? Why would you play this? So there's a specific reason for it, and it's because it also works with Amato Awato. Now you go Amato Awato, you go Ties of the Brethren, they won't be able to Ash Blossom this or anything like that, and then you special summon a Barrier Statue with a Drought and a Fossil Dyna. And so then that way you have a way to stop monster effects if you can keep this on the field for longer than the turn, and you have 2 different ways to stop special summons. So it's really, really good opening turn if you can get that off. And oftentimes you'll be able to, because once Amato Awato's on the field, they can't hand trap you. So they really are put in a tough spot from there. And it's just a really solid opening turn that has actual synergy with the rest of the deck, as opposed to just summon 1 monster and pass, so to speak. You got 3 Mirror of Yada. I know, right? Why would you play this? So shout out to DM Era on YouTube for this idea. So this card works really, really well with Amato Awato. It prevents it from being destroyed by battle, and then it does not return to the hand during the turn that it's summoned. So it has multi-usage in the deck. And I was playing cards like Forbidden Chalice, for instance, for a while, but I just find the Mirror of Yada is better. It's more consistent. Being able to pump it up by 400 and then just passing your turn and having Amato Awato stay on the field is great, but this does more. 2 Necro Valley. So this is another one of those choices that I really think needs to be explained. You don't play 1, you don't play 3. You don't play 1 because of the grind game. You don't play 3 because opening hands of multiple mines and multiple Necro Valleys is terrible, so 2 works perfectly. And also, for some reason, the ultra rare Necro Valleys stack. So I mean, I don't know why, they just do. Another one of the best cards in the deck, in my opinion, is 2 Raigeki. It's like, I know that this doesn't seem like, a lot of people don't really like this card right now, and usually I would agree, but this works really, really well with Inspect Border, with Amato Awato especially, and it also works decently with Fossil Dyna and cards like that. But I love it because it works super well with Amato Awato. So your opponent will put up some big, you know, 7 negate field or whatever with all monster effects. You summon Amato Awato, activate Raigeki, and then they want to cry. So really, really good combo there. It's very unfair, but that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is nowadays. So I love this combo. And if you're playing against a deck that has a lot of like special summon effects off destruction, you just summon Fossil Dyna and Raigeki them, and it serves basically the same purpose. On to the draw power, we got triple Pot of Prosperity. Sorry, times are hard, guys. Triple Duality, and then the 1 card of Demise. Just good card. all good cards. Being able to go 9 cards into the deck is excellent. Yeah, 1 Moon Mirror, 1 Mage Power. So I find that a lot of people like playing multiples of these, and I understand the appeal, but I'm not really a fan, just for at least in most strategies. Sometimes you play it for fun, but I find that when you have like 3 Moon Mirror and 2 Mage Power, your basic setup is the same every time, and your opponent can just Cosmic Cyclone. Like if you go like Fossil Dyna, Moon Mirror Shield, and they just go Cosmic Cyclone, summon a monster, and swing over, you can't do shit. So it's not really the best to rely on these, but they're still good cards themselves. Got 1 deck Lockdown. So this is another, I go back and forth between 1 and 2, but this card is fantastic. I really like this card. I mean, this is another card where, especially if you play it after you break your opponent's field or like on the next turn or whatever, they really struggle with it because they're already out so many resources making that big field anyway, just because everything's so top heavy nowadays. So I like deck Lockdown a lot. And then Terraforming, just good card. You play 5 field spells. That's it for spells. Onto the traps. You only got 5 of them. So, Triple Solemn. So yeah, God Says No has always been one of my favorite cards, but it's really good in this deck. I find that some anti-meta stun lists don't even play it, but I really feel like you need it. Just for the fact your opponent is going to have some kind of card to attack you back with next turn. Whether you have a Necro Valley or a Mystic Mind in play or something, and you're hoping that that can buy you some turns, or you're hoping that that can shut them down, and then they have the Cosmic Cyclone or the Harpy's Feather Duster. Or if you have one monster on the field, but they can't really swing over it, and then they just have the Raigeki or something, and you don't have this, I mean, you're in a lot of trouble. So I find Solemn is just a good catch-all. Yeah, Metaverse, you know, turn Necro Valley or Mystic Mind into a trap card. I mean, why not? And then 40th card, Copy a Bribe. So a lot of people don't like this card, but the thing is, I don't give a shit. So this card is fantastic, and I will always defend this card. It's really good in a lot of anti-meta strategies. It's good in a lot of back row control decks, but this is just another good catch-all. I look at this card like a 4th Solemn almost. You know, because again, they'll have that miscellaneous Raigeki, they'll have the Harpy's Feather Duster, they'll have the Cosmic Cyclone, they'll have, you know, a fusion spell when you're not prepared for it, and this is just a good catch-all. So then, extra deck's not really important, guys. It's just, you can literally fill it in with whatever you want. So that's about it. Really hope you guys enjoyed the list. If you have any suggestions or anything you change, be sure to leave a comment, and I'll see you soon.